Beloved friends, a couple of days ago, I decided to, make a video call back home, and I got to speak to my little nephew. And as I was on the video call speaking to him, it was very early in the morning. So as I was speaking with him, he asked me, "Uncle Dom, are you just waking up?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'm just waking up." And he asked me, "What is the time over there in Australia?" And I said, "It's 6:47 a.m. because I just checked the time." And then he's like, "Oh, wow. It is only 9:47 p.m. here in Nigeria." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." But then he asked me, "If it's 6:47 a.m. in Australia, does it mean you are calling me from the future?" I was like, "Well, now that you said it, that may be true. I think I'm calling you from the future." And he got really excited. And he asked me, "Can you tell me what happened in the future?" There is this desire in us to be curious about the future. There is this need in us to know what the future holds for us. What is it going to be? How am I going to turn out? Am I going to become the person that I wish I'm going to be in the future? And we have all these questions. And I believe for the people of Israel that they asked the same question while they were on their way to the promised land. Are we ever gonna get to the promised land? What does the future hold for us? And so they know about the promise, but most of them went there when Abraham received the promise. Because God said to Abraham, "Hey, Abraham, leave your town and go to a town I'm going to call you." And he doesn't know where he was going, so he left and believed in God. And he didn't know how he's going to make it, but God led him through. And so God changed his name because he trusted in God. And so he changed his name from Abram to Abraham because he was a man of faith. And when he got there, God blessed him and said, "Through you, I'm going to make a great nation through you." And then God gave Abraham Isaac, and Isaac became Esau and Jacob. And then a family became a tribe, and a tribe became a nation. And they walk through Bitter Valley, and then they go to the promised land. And now here we are, and I can catch my breath. But the thing is, today, Joshua, with his people, the people of Israel, they have reached the promised land. And Joshua was getting old, and he was getting ready to die. And so he said, "Before I could die, I need to do something for my people." And the Bible tells us that he gathered the people of Israel at Shechem. Now, if you're not careful, you will read Shechem and just go on your way. You wouldn't understand why this place called Shechem is very important for Joshua. Because when God called Abraham from his hometown, the Ur of Chaldees, and asked him to go to a land he doesn't know about, Abraham went to Canaan, and it was at Canaan that God made a promise to him that through you, I'm going to bring about a nation. And guess where Abraham was when God made that promise? Shechem. It was at this very place that Abraham received this promise from God that through him, God is going to do great things and bring about a great nation. So what does Abraham did? He gathered some stones and built an altar to mark this very blessing that he has received from God. And now Joshua brought all the people to this very place where the promise was made. Because the people of Israel are now living in the promise that did not know how it came about. And and Joshua wanted to show them how it all happened. And he said, "You know what? We're gonna go a full circle." That's my topic today. We're gonna go on a journey. We're gonna go to where it all began. We're gonna go back to the memory lane of how God has been with you all through your days. And so he began. He said, long time ago, God called your ancestors, Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor. He called them beyond the river of Euphrates. And when he called them beyond the river, God brought Abraham from that land to the land of Canaan. And from the land of Canaan, God blessed him. God said, through you, I'm going to give you a child, and through you, I'm going to make a great nation. And Abraham was getting really old and old and old and old, and he doesn't know how this promise was going to come about. But as he was advancing in age, God blessed him with a son, Isaac, because God will never fail you when he has made his promises to you. And so through Isaac, God gave them Esau and Jacob. And Esau took the mountains of Seir as his heritage, and Jacob went down to Egypt. Now it was in Egypt that the people of Israel began to grow and grow and grow and grow. And it was getting so big for the Egyptians. They were so terrified of the size of the Israelites. And so they took them captives. They were slaves. They suffered in Egypt. And they were crying, God, when are you going to help us? And God heard their cry. And he sent his servant Moses. He prepared Moses. When he called Moses to deliver his people from the hand of slavery, Moses was like, I cannot speak. I'm not eloquent. I can't do this. I can't do this. And God was like, no. My grace is enough for you, because my grace is more than your inability. And God helped him through Aaron. And when Moses delivered the people from the hands of Israel, they were running. They were running from the Egyptians, and they pursued them and chased them and chased them. And the people of Israel got to the Red Sea, and they started to cry again. Take me back to Egypt. I want to go back to the land of slavery. I want to go back there. It is better for me to be in slavery than to die in this massive sea. And God said to them, I'm not going to abandon you at this time. And God made a way through the Red Sea, and they walked through dry land, through the Red Sea. And when the Egyptians pursued them through the Red Sea, God darkened their heart, and they all drowned in the Red Sea. God made a way where there is no way, because he is a way maker. He always makes a way in your life. And when they got out of the Red Sea, they had to stay in the desert, in the wilderness, for a very long time. And there the Amorites came to fight them. And when the Amorites came to fight them, God gave the Amorites into their hands. It wasn't because they were powerful that they defeated the Amorites. It was because God is fighting their battle. Because God will always fight your battle. And when they defeated the Amorites, the king of Moab, Balak, wasn't happy. He asked Balaam to curse the people of Israel. But when Balaam cursed the people of Israel, God didn't listen to his prayer. Instead, God blessed the people of Israel, because you cannot curse who God has blessed already. And when they left there, they had to face Jericho. But Jericho was surrounded by a massive wall, and they cannot get through. And they cried to God, and God said, you know what? Go around the walls of Jericho with your trumpet, singing psalms of praise. And they went round the first one, and nothing happened. The second one, and nothing happened. The third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh round, the walls of Jericho began to crumble. And God led them and fought their battle. And then many other nations came to fight the people of Israel. And God handed all these nations into the hand of Israel. The Amorites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, and since we are on the road, the Parasites, and all the eyes that we cannot think of. God gave them all in the hands of the Israelites, and God fought their battle. And God said to them, all these things I did for you. I sent hornets ahead of you to attack your enemies. And they ran away, not because you are powerful, but because you have a reputation of a nation whose God fights for them. All these things I did for you. And I brought you to a land you didn't till. I brought you to a city you didn't build, and yet you live on it. I brought you to a vineyard and olive groves you didn't plant, and yet you eat them, and now you are back in Shechem. You are now in the promised land. And Joshua said, have you seen how God has been with you all this time? Joshua took them a full circle of their journey, just like I just did right now. Took them a full circle, reminding them of God's goodness in their life from the very moment God called Abraham. Because right now, they are living in a blessing that they did not understand. They are living in a very ridiculous blessing, and they're not even aware of it. And Joshua said to them, God has been with you every step of your journey. So now, decide today which God you will serve. Now that you have seen the goodness of God in your life, decide today which God you will serve. Do you want to go back to the God of your ancestors? Do you want to go back to slavery? Do you want to go back to Egypt? Or do you want to serve the living God? As for me and my family, we shall serve the living God. Most of us are miserable in our life because we have not gone the full circle in our life's journey. Most of us are miserable because we have not gone back to see how far we have come and how God has been with us all through our life. Most of us are unhappy because we do not understand the kind of blessing that we are living on. Most of you, your great-grandparents, your parents, your grandparents made sacrifices for you so that you could get to live a decent life. And every day, we wake up grumpy and unhappy. We get caught up in the drama of ephemeral things. We wake up and we don't really know what it means to open our eyes and sit on your bed and stand up and take the first step and the next step and take another step and keep going and go to the shower and go to the toilet and do our business and get out and have our breakfast and gear up and go to work or to school or to our business or whatever we do. And yet, most people in our world don't get to enjoy that luxury. Most people don't even have a bed to sleep in. Most people wake up terrified because they don't know what is going to happen in the next minute. Most people don't have water to drink. Most people don't even have food to drink. Most people can't even go on the streets because it is not safe for them. There's a lot happening. And we are living in a ridiculous blessing and we're not even aware of it. So if you find yourself bitter, take a lap. Go full circle in your life and see how far you've come. See where your story began. Go back to Shechem, to where God has been blessing you from the moment you were born. Do you know how many breaths you take in a minute? And because it has become so common, we are not even aware of the blessing. Because it is easy not to appreciate something that we do not see, a blessing that we cannot see. It is easy to ignore that and to forget about that. And yet, every single day of our life, God blesses us. He protects us. He provides for us. And to our beloved children doing their first Holy Communion today, do not forget today that you are going to receive what I would call a ridiculous blessing in your life. That as you get to receive the body and blood of Christ, it's going to change you forever. It's going to nourish you for the rest of your life. And I'm telling you this because when you grow up, people are going to tell you that you're not enough. You're not good enough. Remember this day that you are enough because Christ lives in you and that makes you whole. And never give in to negative thoughts or to what people think about you, because God has chosen you even before you were born. And today, we have a group of people, who went to World Youth Day 10 years ago. And today they decide to come back to celebrate this incredible gift of the World Youth Day. And what were they doing? They are now taking a full circle back to where the story began, to recount the blessings of God in their lives. And so, my dear friends, we're going to make a declaration now, okay? Because I wanna drop these words. I want to drop them, okay? As God inspired them. I want to drop it like it's the word of God. You know what I'm talking about, okay? So we're going to make this declaration together, okay? Has God been so good to you? Has He been faithful to you? Has God provided for you? Has He protected you? Has God got your back? Has He been blessing you even when you do not understand it? Has God been so merciful to you? Has He taken away all your shame? And will He continue to bless you all the days of your life? So now, my friends, I encourage you. Choose today. Choose today to do away with bitterness in your life. Choose today to do away with false gods in your life. Choose today to do away with addictions in your life. Choose today to let go of past hurt in your life. Choose today not to hold grudges in your life. Choose today not to be resentful in your life. I encourage you also to choose God in your life. Choose life. Choose joy. Choose peace. Choose forgiveness. Choose mercy. Choose open heart. And above all, choose love in your life. And as you choose God in your life, my prayer for all of you is that you will experience transformation in your life. And as you experience that, may God's grace and peace be with you both now and forever. Amen.